All right, what's up, y'all? So this is going to be my prediction for the Week 2 matchup against the Atlanta Falcons. The Rams will be hosting the Atlanta Falcons. Both are 0-1, unfortunately, but we're moving past that. And both teams will be searching for their first victory of the 2022 season. So let's go ahead and get started with a little bit of injury news here. So we got a few injuries of note. Rams wide receiver Van Jefferson, knee. Brian Allen with his knee are going to be out, as y'all already know. And one of the other concerns is Leonard Floyd, our outside linebacker, also has a knee issue. Joseph Noteboom also has a knee issue. And the long snapper Matthew Orshek has a calf issue, and both Joe Noteboom and Matthew are questionable for this game. So Sean McVay says he's making great progress, talking about Van Jefferson, and he is quoted by saying, really looking forward to when we can get him back. He looks physically great, but when they give us the thumbs up, he'll be out there and ready to roll. So basically, it looks like Van Jefferson is just about healed, but unfortunately, he will not be playing for us this Sunday, which is unfortunate. But gonna have to rely on other people to step up. Leonard Floyd, who seems to be one of the bigger question marks, apparently had his knee buckle in practice. And according to McVay, everything came out fine. It looked fine structurally, and they're basically keeping it a game time decision whether or not he's going to play tomorrow or not. And McVay says it was one of those deals, kind of a freak little accident. Fortunately, over the long haul, he's going to be okay. And so I guess he just turned it the wrong way, and they're just being overly cautious with him, which is the appropriate response, I believe. So Noteboom, in regards to Noteboom and Orshek, McVay said he's guessing that they'll both play. He said that they had a great week of recovery, and specifically for Noteboom, he says he's guessing that he's going to play. That's what I'm leaning towards. That's what he specifically said for Noteboom. And the Falcons running back has been ruled out, Damian Williams. So just a quick little look. Brian Allen out, Van Jefferson out. Noteboom is questionable, though probably is going to play. Orshek, the same thing, questionable, but probably going to play. Leonard Floyd, questionable. Did not practice after buckling his knee in practice, so do not know. Do not know. We'll see. Game time decision. And Aaron Donald is fine. He's just resting. So there's that. Jacob Harris has been activated. So I thought this was interesting to see. There was a bit of a week 2 contest against the Falcons. That's in response to Van Jefferson being out. So Harris will probably get a chance to work on special teams. So look at that. We'll probably get to see a little bit of Jacob Harris, you know? So it says here that he's going to be more than likely used on special teams. I would agree. It's just I just in a way I kind of hope it'd be cool to see him out there on offense. I don't know if they'll do that. Apparently he's still kind of struggling and learning with the playbook and stuff and the timing. But I'm gonna be honest. I would rather see him out there than Tutu. At least he could win some jump balls. You know what I mean? So if you're gonna replace Tutu with somebody, I mean Jacob Harris is a good pick. And in regards to Lance McCutcheon, or McClutch as he's been nicknamed, he's inactive for the second week in a row. He's still learning the offense, and yeah, so we will not see him tomorrow. and Harris is mainly going to play on special teams. So, it's good to see him on the active roster, though we probably won't see him a whole lot in tomorrow's game against the Falcons. All right, so we're going to talk about. I want to talk about a few things I want to see in the game. Pretty much a couple of things that the Rams need to do to bounce back against the Falcons because basically, the more I read up on the Falcons, the more I read about how they're built and their players and how they kind of run things over there, the more I begin to realize that this is going to be a difficult game for us. I really do believe that. I think the game will be close. Ultimately, I do believe we'll come out and win. We're very, very good after a loss. Sean McVay has usually gets his team very much prepared after a embarrassing loss or a heartbreaking loss or anything. We rarely lose 2 games in a row. So I feel like we'll bounce back and beat the Falcons. But dude, I got to tell y'all, I mean, the Falcons, it's going to be tough. All right, and ultimately, I'll give a score here after I talk about a few things, but let's go ahead and really the number. There's a few things I want to see. Okay, there was some very noticeable problems in the loss of the Bills that I want to see improved upon. Number one is we got to protect Matthew Stafford. All right, our O line. I've said it enough. They played very poorly last week. All right, Matthew Stafford was getting sacked like it was going out of style, dude, and we gotta cut that out. And when he wasn't getting sacked, he just the guys he barely had time to let the plays develop. That it's one of the most frustrating things because you can tell that Sean wants the plays to develop so he can have Stafford launch the ball deep, like the medium to long range, like 15, 20 yards plus. You know what I mean? But our line cannot hold their blocks, dude. So he doesn't have the time to let the plays develop, and it's just incredibly frustrating. Now the Falcons, their pass rush apparently last year, they had 29 sacks last year, and that makes them 23rd in the NFL. So they're not that good. However, they do have Grady Jarrett, who is one of the best defensive linemen in the NFL. And he had a 1.5 sacks last week against the Saints. Ties him for 5th after week 1. So I see him. If I were the Falcons, I would line Grady Jarrett against Tremian Ankrum. All right. I'm actually, Brian Allen got hurt. I'm actually not too worried about the center position per se. Coleman Shelton had to play center for us last year, and he performed pretty well. So I think we'll be okay there, knock on wood. But the real question is right guard Tremian Ankrum. And I've always felt like he looks good in practice, according to what the players and the coaches said throughout the years. He's just never really had an opportunity to play. So it's just, he just got buried on the depth chart. It is what it is. It's just one of those things. Well, now he has to play. So now he gets a chance to show if he's good or not. And I'm actually really excited because I have some high hopes. I really do. Maybe it's not very wise, but I think he'll be okay. I really do. I think he'll do just fine. But if I were the Falcons, Grady Jarrett, who is their best D lineman, I would put him in front of Tremian. And apparently the Falcons really like to blitz too. So if you're going to blitz, I would put Grady Jarrett in front of Tremian Ankrum and blitz in his gap as well. So we really need to be prepared for that because the Falcons are going to try and abuse Ankrum at the right guard position. Look for a lot of action in that area. They're going to really try to bring the heat there. So I really hope Sean has a plan. I have faith that he does. Add some maybe extra protection, give him some help, I guess, from Havenstein or Coleman can kind of help him out a little bit. But that is definitely that the interior of the O-line must play better than it did last week. It must. Okay, it's the same problem we had last year. So we were able to make it work, and we need to make it work again. So there is that. And let's go ahead and jump on over to the defense a little bit. I feel like despite being the Bills scoring 31 points, I feel like our defense played pretty well. Played pretty well. I just did not agree with a lot of the schemes, in that game, and I hope there is some variety from Raheem this week. He made a comment like, if you're in enough gunfights, eventually, you're going to get shot or something like that earlier in the week. And I'm just, man, Raheem just, I don't know. It didn't give me a lot of confidence, but I do think we'll bounce back as a defense. I think our defense will still be legit, and I still think our defense will be, by year's end, top 5 at least, and probably top 3. But the schemes, dude, we gotta the shell. I cannot stand. You have to attack sometimes, dude. Mix it up. Get the man coverage in there. Have the zone coverage. You can't just sit back on your heel the entire game. Okay, it was maddening. Just switch it up a little bit, dude. Which I'm sure Sean and him had a talk, so I'm sure that's something we'll see in this game. And I expect the defense to play. Here's the thing: the defense is going to be tested because the Falcons love to run the football. They're a running football team, all right? When I was reading up on it, I was like, oh, man, dude. Historically, we have not been very good against teams that run the football down our throats. We haven't been. Okay, it was a problem we figured out in the playoffs, and we shut them down. True that. Very proud of the team for doing that, but historically, dude, I don't know. We just have been having some issues with that run defense. So with Bobby Wagner, I feel like it'll be improved, but it will be tested. It will be tested. So, damn, that's an ugly orc, dude. Look at that. Holy crap. Anyway, that's some Shadow of Mordor gameplay action there. I love that game. Love Lord of the Rings. Anyway, let's see. Portal Patterson will be someone we will need to stop. Apparently, where is it? Where is it at? Patterson had 22 carries for 120 yards last week. Combined with Marcus Mariota, Avery Williams, and Damian Williams, who Damian will not be playing, the Falcons had over 200 yards rushing. 200 yards rushing, okay? So expect them to attack us on the ground. We really, really need to be disciplined. We really need to be physical, play our gap assignments, and cannot allow them to push us around, all right? Because if they are running the ball consistently on us, it may not end well for us. Dude, like, I'm actually kind of worried about that. So, we'll see. We'll see. So, we made the additions in the offseason. Now they gotta put it into practice. So, we'll see. Let's see. Stafford, the passing game needs to get a little better. Stafford threw for 240 yards last week, and Kupp accounted for 128 of those yards. All right. Out of 29 completions, 13 went to Cup. And because Cooper Cup is like the go-to option when Stafford gets panicked, or there's like he really needs to like a security blanket. He needs like a security blanket, which is great, but we really need to get the other guys involved. Hopefully, we'll see Allen Robinson get a little more involved this week. A lot of people were kind of ragged on the Rams for not getting him involved last week, and I agree. I agree. I actually told a coworker. He asked me. He's like, "Hey man, do you think Allen Robinson will have a big game? Should I start him in fantasy football?" I told him yes. And obviously Allen Robinson didn't do anything last week, so he was kind of salty at me. Come Monday, he was like, "Hey man, I thought Allen Robinson was gonna play for y'all. Like, what happened?" I just told him, "Hey man, they just didn't. He wasn't part of the game plan." So I could see them trying to get him the ball more this week, but I caution Sean and I caution Matthew. Please don't try to force the ball to him if he's not open or if the situation doesn't look favorable. All right, I get this weird feeling Matthew may try to force him the ball and he throws a pick, and we cannot have that, especially against a team who may be able to run the ball and hold on to it for like long periods of time. All right, we cannot afford turnovers. So possibly either Allen Robinson, possibly Ben Schwarnick, Jacob Harris. I doubt Jacob Harris will get involved at all. Tutu, man, I have like no faith in Tutu right now, but he could bounce back. He could. But I would rather see Brandon Powell in Tutu's position than Tutu himself, quite frankly. I just, you know, I don't have really anything against Tutu. It may sound like I do, as much as I rag on him, but quite frankly, I just, a lot of people are telling me, he's going to do good. I just don't see it, y'all. I just do not see it. I'm sorry, but I could still be wrong, and maybe Sean will implement him in the game plan, but last week, he drops a pass and he gets obliterated immediately in his first opportunity, and they took him out of the game, so that says something. So maybe Brandon Powell's an option, Ben Schwarnick. Let's see some screens, dude. Let's see some screens to the running back, Darrell Henderson, Cam Akers. Cam Akers will probably get a lot more carries or game action this week. I don't know what the hell happened last week. I think he was probably getting punished for something. Essentially is what I think it was. So, which, if it was, then I agree. It's last week. So if he's good to go, if he's been doing everything he's supposed to, if he's behaving himself, if he's showing up on time, then let's get him the ball and let's get him going, because Cam Akers is a great running back and he's pretty good at laying the wood on people, dude. I want to see us physically run the ball, dominantly physically run the ball on these dudes, because we looked terrible last week running the ball, and the Falcons, despite being a run-heavy offense and being very powerful on the ground on offense, on defense, they were dead last in run defense. So that is, if that doesn't encourage you to run the football, I don't know what else will. All right, so the Saints were able to have their way with them running the ball. So it's just we really need to prioritize running the ball, especially if our O-line cannot hold their blocks in pass pro. Like we really need to start calming. We need to start taming and slowing down the pass rush, because I forget how many times Stafford actually got sacked last week, but it was like high. I think it was like 7 times. Dude, we cannot have that. We cannot have that, dude. I mean, it looked terrible. Like, it looked terrible, dude. Like, anytime he got sacked, I'm just like, oh, Lord have mercy. Here we go again. Here we go again with the O lineman cannot holding their blocks for more than like a second. So it's we can really help them with that by being more consistent and productive with the running game. And I know they're trying, okay? I know Sean is making it a point of emphasis to improve the running game. And I think our running game will improve. I am confident that it will. It's only been 1 week. All right. To conclude here, the Rams look like a team last week who we got embarrassed on primetime television. And it's doesn't feel very good, for us, doesn't feel very good for the players or the coaches. But you know what? It is what it is. It's over now. They look like a team who was playing their first football game in months. And, well, it showed. The Bills are a very good team. And now we have an opportunity to bounce back against a team, the Falcons, who seems to have very much improved throughout the offseason. This game will be tough. This game will be stressful. The Falcons are built to contend with us and even possibly beat us. So I am a little worried about that. Okay, I really want to avoid going 0-2. That's we really want to try to avoid that if we can. So I feel like we will, though. I feel like it'll be a tough, hard, physical game that we will come out on top with. So I would say I want to. I think it's going to be a lot of ground and pound from both sides. Hopefully, mind you, hopefully. And I want to say, let's go 24-21. I'm going to say 24-21 us. I think it's going to be very close, kind of a nail biter, but I think we win 24-21. So, and yeah, that's going to be what I believe is going to be. That's going to do it for now, guys. That's my prediction. I do believe that the Rams will bounce back this week. It feels like it's been a long time since we saw any game action from the Rams, because it has. They played on Thursday, so we had to wait a long time. We had to stew in this embarrassing loss for over a week, and now it's time to play football again. I still believe the Rams will be one of the better teams in the NFL, despite some issues that we have to work on. But here's the thing to remember. Every team in the NFL has issues they have to work on. No one's ever going to be perfect, and the Rams just have their own issues they need to work on. But I do believe we bounce back. I do believe we win a tough physical game against the Falcons, 24-21. And we get back to 500, and we get ourselves squared away and ready to face a division rival the following week. So that's going to be it. Good luck to you boys. Tomorrow I will be watching. I'll be cheering. And let's get this win. So, yes, 24-21. I hope you guys have a good rest of the day. And as always, go Rams.